Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, for episode 353 of the Massenomics podcast, as we like to call it, the lifting podcast about Nerfin, recorded live from western, northeast, South Dakota, and also eastern, southeast South Dakota. It's going to continue to take me some practice to make sure I don't screw up the new location added in there.
You do not want to mess up the location.
I've done all right with it these last couple times, but I just got to keep drilling that one into the old memory, into the spank bank, as you will.
That's right. Seal it away.
Everything in the memory is just a spank bank at this point.
It's all spank bank.
Yeah. This is episode 353, and my name.
You didn't introduce yourself.
My name is Tanner. If you haven't figured that out yet.
And my name is Tommy.
Yeah. So Tommy, some weather we've been having. Actually, it's been pretty decent.
Okay. Is it snowing there?
No.
Oh, we've gotten like multiple inches of snow today.
Oh, really?
Yes. On top of the old classic, let it rain for a little bit, and then once the rain's done, then let it snow on top of that.
Well, that's best for the road conditions. That's kind of what you're after.
It's that constant variableness of traffic. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yesterday was I was finally getting to leave my house a couple times. I've lived here almost 3 weeks now. Finally, in the last few days, I got to leave my house a few times, and it's like, no, not going to mess with it now that there's ice and all types of things on the road again.
Yeah, there's like the roads here are probably the best they've been in a few weeks. I mean, they're sloppy and terrible in that way, but like they're starting to, like, some of the layers of ice are coming off of it. So, I mean, they're still terrible, but the best they've been in weeks.
You can almost relax a little bit when you're driving now.
Almost. That's just what they want you to get your guard down a little bit.
Yeah.
This episode, if none of you are aware, is actually brought to you by our great friends over at SPUD Inc. That's spud-ink-straps.com. And product I was thinking about of theirs today is the bow tie. The reason I was thinking about that is because
I was wearing mine today.
Were you?
I was.
That's why I was thinking about it. See, my ears were ringing.
I knew it.
My yellow SPUD Ink ears were ringing. And also I saw...
Was your ink sense tingling?
Yes. I'm like, is somebody out there incorporated? No, I saw our good buddy Donnie Thompson. He posted another bow tie knockoff, actually. So
of course it's from Copperfit.
And as Gwyneth Paltrow was the spokesman for it. But also
they got their target audience figured out.
Right. So don't buy that one from Copperfit. Head over to SPUD Inc. Buy the original, the one that they worked on with Donnie Thompson. Buy the bow tie. And they make it in, the casual and the formal. You have the red formal one, right?
I do have the red formal. Go big or go home.
We always historically have recommended the formal one, but get what you want. I'm not here to tell you not to buy the other one, but my recommendation, if you're asking, is the formal bow tie. And check that out and many of the other awesome products right at SPUD Inc. That's spud-ink-straps.com. And you know they're good because they're incorporated.
I remember them saying they weren't sure about that tagline, but man, that just rings.
So you could
rolls right off.
You
the
could
tongue.
tell by the way I said that I was going for like a tagline then. And you know they're good because they're incorporated.
Like, oh, I guess they did some legal paperwork. Can't argue with that. Today's show is also brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes. Most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement. Barefoot shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Barefoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin. Oh, speaking of Chris, okay, hold on. Barefoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Here's the important part. Go to www.barefoot.shoes and use code Massenomics to save 10% on your next order. Thank you, Bearfoot Shoes.
They're cool beans.
Very good.
Thanks, Barefoot. Boy, Tommy, we got another humdinger, a little humdinger plan for this week, don't we?
Another barn burner in the works.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit. Well, actually, not revisit. We're going to bring back our predictions. So, a few weeks back, we revisit our 2022 predictions. We made predictions at the beginning of the year, which would make sense, and then we caught up with them here in December. And now we're going to, so we can play that game again 12 months from now. We're going to do our 2023 predictions a little later on in this episode.
They're wild.
I wonder if,
who knows what we'll predict?
Yeah, who could be anything at this point.
Is this the year the Mayan calendar ends and we're all done?
What year was that supposed to be?
Wasn't that 2012?
Oh, I think that's right. That sounds right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If it's not 2012, it's definitely something.
2023, that would be the next year that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to put that one on the guessing game.
Yeah. So we do we are going to do our predictions, of course, and then we have just a whole bevy of other topics that we're going to hit on in here too.
Tonight, more than any other night, it feels like there's a lot of odds and ends, a lot of house cleaning we have to do.
A lot
on
of
this
house
list
cleaning.
here.
We're going to play Has He Seen It? We're going to play Overrated, Underrated, of course, and I think first we should probably hit on what's kind of been our central topic for the last few episodes of Studio 6.9 and our progress here and how we feel things are going.
So Tanner, you got a sneak peek of it.
Yeah.
I just got the video and the audio edited. That would be
352.
That'll be dropping. Yes, 352. That'll be dropping this Sunday on YouTube. And man, the video looks good.
Yeah.
The audio's great. We took a look and we're like, wow, this is amazing. You could make the argument this is better than what we used to have. Even
There are parts
It's
of
certainly
it that,
it's certainly no worse, but it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, especially, in contrast how poorly 351 the presentation ended up being. I guess it's apparent we did make the right changes because 352 is a way better product, and I think it's on Massenomics par now. I think it feels like a Massenomics product then, doesn't it?
We're not quite as dumb as we look. I know we always surprise people with that, but we got a little trick up our sleeves once in a while.
I like people are using, your thumbnail image for episode 351 is you making that face. What emotion would you describe that face as that you're making in 351?
Kind of like disgust, like grossed out, scared maybe. The face you make when you walk into a gym full of treadmills,
right,
I guess that's what it was.
People are making funny memes with that one, and I liked the one where it said Tommy's reaction when he finds out he has to help Tanner with IT problems.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I thought I caught all these, but I did not see that one.
I particularly liked that one. It gave me a good. There we go. When you realize you have to teach Tanner about technology.
Oh yeah. Matt had one that made me laugh very hard, and I already forgot what it was.
That's how good it
shows
was.
How much it was so good. I forgot it less than an hour later.
But anyways, we are kind of getting Studio 6.9 dialed in here, don't you think?
Yes, it's all coming together. Still some few little tweaks we're gonna make. I am gonna still work on my backdrop here. Your backdrop's banging over there, but I'm still gonna get mine refined, cleaned up a little bit. But we're getting there. We're getting really close. We're like 90% of the way there.
Yeah, we're edging right now. We're right on
very, very edgy.
We're right on the edge.
That's right.
So stay tuned. Make sure to check out. This is 352. Check this out on video on YouTube if you haven't. Also check out 352 or 353 to get a taste of what things are starting to look like. Maybe don't check out 351 if you haven't up to this point. Just listen to the audio on that one. Don't watch it on YouTube. 351 we'll get to be one of those infamous episodes that we've had.
It's
before.
like almost borderline party cast.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like not party cast. And I do see it looked like maybe Repeatonomics was listening along tonight. So if we need any good party cast historical callbacks, we could probably call on Repeatonomics.
He's the only one that survived listening to the party cast more than once.
Here's a question. do you think we'll have repeat and maybe we should save that for the 2023 predictions.
Okay, yeah, yep. Any guessing? We gotta
Yeah.
save it at this point. We've come so close. You got to just save it for the game.
Yeah, don't buy our episode 351 or our hats. Okay, what did you had something about East Bay in there that I was pretty curious about.
So I think we're both familiar with East Bay, aren't we?
Absolutely. I mean, we grew up in an era where you bought shoes from East Bay, like when I was
Yeah,
little.
I remember getting super jacked, like being young and seeing those catalogs and getting so jacked for them and actually getting excited for East Bay catalogs to come in the mail. And actually, the first time in my brain that it really kicked, like clicked where, damn, shoes are really cool. I remember, I think I was in, I mean, you could know by looking up the year of the releases, but if I had to guess, I would say 3rd or 4th grade. I went and I spent the night at my friend Cole's house. Cole had older brothers, which meant they naturally were getting the East Bay magazine. And I remember seeing black and red Jordan 12s for the first time ever in my life and being like, whoa, I don't even know what those are, but those are so cool. Like I had never seen a shoe that in my brain, I thought that is awesome. And that was what really clicked for me at the time. And then, yeah, you get East Bay magazines growing up. Naturally, that business pretty much dies out like it does for anyone else. But East Bay has been a division of Foot Locker for the last quite a while. Have you known that?
No, I didn't even know that.
Okay.
Speaking of another
so
company that's probably like not doing that well, maybe I'm wrong, but do people don't shop in a mall, do they?
See, that one's confusing because I feel like you get mixed signals on it, but they also do have a strong online presence too.
Okay, if they have an online presence, then that's probably the only way that they exist still. Then
yes, but they have been a division of Foot Locker, I think, for at least 10 years, if not longer. But it has been announced that East Bay is closing its door after 43 years of operations at the end of 2022, which basically means right now. They are saying goodbye to East Bay at the end of December. We encourage you to shop at Champ Sports to find great deals for athletic shoes. Champ Sports is also under the
Foot Locker umbrella.
Foot Locker umbrella. And yeah, basically they're getting shut down. So kind of, I mean, that's definitely like a part of our childhood that's disappearing.
But then it's one of those things where it's like, when was the last time we gave them business, you know?
I couldn't, and really it's like, it's all under the Foot Locker. It's like all these companies, there's like two companies that own everything now. So I guess spiritually East Bay doesn't exist anymore, but they were always kind of part of Foot Locker anyways. So I'm not sure it really matters a whole lot. Someone's probably losing jobs, I guess, but as far as our lives go, it doesn't really change much other than some nostalgia missing.
And now I know I just will never run into one of those magazines again. Like before, there was the hope that I'd come across an East Bay magazine,
it's
like in a doctor's office maybe or something.
Yeah, if you type in like on Google like old East Bay magazines, I'm just doing it right now. You can see the images that come up and the shoes that are in there are pretty amazing. And also the pricing for them. Some shoes, the pricing surprises you a lot. Others, it's like, oh, that's actually not too bad. But I'm trying to look at some of these. The picture is so small, I can't tell. But actually, it's really funny looking now. These old East Bay magazines, all of the shoes that are in are like popular again now that were 20 years on. But here we go. Air Jordan 12s, $140. I'm pretty sure those go for $200 now.
I remember going to East Bay, especially if it was like a specialty sport. Sometimes it was just where you could the only reasonable place you could get some of that stuff. Like I needed like
football cleats.
Right.
That was you couldn't. I mean, if you're lucky, there'd be. We're both from a smaller town. You'd go to like the bigger town over, and then you'd walk through the store that sold football cleats and look at the 4 options they had and pick one off the wall. You know, or you'd go on East Bay and have every option available.
Yep. Or like I had throwing shoes for track, like spinning shoes, and you couldn't have bought those. And I mean, I'm sure there was internet resources to be able to do it, but a lot of people at the time were still just using magazines to order stuff like that.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing right here. Jordan 1s, they have them for $80 here. Those are
how much do they cost?
$180 to $200 now, assuming you can even pick them up. And then the other classic East Bay, we've talked about this on a past episode, were the jump shoes. That was always in East Bay. Those jump shoes.
True.
Those were always in there.
Who do we talked to Jacob Ross about the jump shoes?
That's
He said
yes,
I think
that's right.
he posted a video wearing those. I think after we talked to him about that.
Yeah, didn't he do a deadlift
I
or
think
something
he
in
did.
that? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Set the jump shoe deadlift world record.
Somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
So
Had to do it to him.
uh,
So pour one
yeah,
out. Pour
our
a
East Bay
cold one.
homies.
A cold sparkling water out for our East Bay homies tonight.
Speaking of cold sparkling waters, I'm a little thirsty.
I'm actually extremely thirsty, and I didn't grab anything. Can you keep the people entertained for 5 seconds while I run across the
Yeah,
house?
we'll play a little game over here while I dip into this one.
Oh, I already see what you got. It looks so good. I'll be right back.
So as Tommy goes to get that, we'll take a dip into what I've got. And I've got for anyone watching, one of the tall, fancy LaCroix. I mean, all LaCroix is fancy, but the tall, skinny ones are particularly fancy. So this is the, what is it? Cherry lemon. They, of course, have it in a different language at top, but let me crack this open. Ooh. Yeah, that is a crispy crack on that one.
Oh, what did I miss, Tanner?
Cherry lime fancy LaCroix. So, but it's,
Yep.
I'm going to read it in this other language. It's cerise lemon fancy tall LaCroix. And it is good.
You nailed that accent. I got the old Waterloo black cherry here.
That's good.
Classic and delicious.
Cherry Coke.
Mm-hmm.
This one's really good. You're familiar with this one, Tommy?
I am.
Yeah.
I think we've had that one a couple times on the show, I believe.
It's a good LaCroix.
It is. They knew what they were doing when they put that formula
What is
together.
like the inherent difference between this shape of LaCroix? Like, is there something like across the board you'd say, oh, if it's in that shape of a can, this is what it means?
I don't know what that means. There probably is something to it, but I have no idea why things get that. Some get the tall, skinny can, and the others just get the regular can. I have no idea where that comes from.
Okay. Well, it pops. I give this a 4 JD Power and Associates award. This is a good. That
is a good one. I'm torn because I know we've done this black cherry, and I cannot. I feel like this is one we've given a 4.
I know I like that one. That's a good one too.
Yeah. I think I would give it a 4 if I haven't before.
Okay. So,
all right. Yeah. What do we got? What else do we got here on the old list?
Let's talk about our good old friend Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about him on the podcast for a while, probably, but
it's been a long time. I believe.
As we know, the former world's strongest man has dipped his toes into the MMA waters for quite some time now since his retiring from strongman. And did you see the clip of his most recent fight? I mean, it's been a few weeks ago now at the time that this episode's coming out, but did you see that?
I did see the clip, and there were several noteworthy things about it.
Yeah. He was fighting, I don't know, Mamed Khalidov. That's what I'm going to say. That's who he is fighting. And he tapped out in like a minute, or was it even that long?
I'm not sure it was even that long.
Okay, it was like maybe under a minute. And I did see that Pudzianowski outweighed him by 53 pounds.
Oh, that's the first thing that stands out is when you look at it, you're like, why are these guys in the same weight class?
Yeah.
How is this happening right now? And I still don't know what the answer to that question is.
No, I don't really know. This isn't like UFC. And to be fair, I know next to nothing about MMA.
Would you say your Olympia knowledge is only surpassed by your MMA knowledge?
That might be true. Actually, I'd say how little I know about MMA qualifies perfectly for us to be talking about this on the Massenomics podcast. I would say that's exactly why we should be talking about it here.
Yeah. You got a point there. You're totally right. Yep. Let's dive into this.
So that everyone listening can really be like, wow, these dumbasses do not know what they're talking about. But I don't know anything about MMA, but to me it looked like a strong case of someone being strongly outskilled at the discipline that they're competing in. You know, the bigger, stronger guy does not necessarily win.
Yeah, and especially when you're that much bigger and stronger looking that you lose, it seems like you're being very outgunned in the skill department. Pujanowski wins in the physique department hands down, though. He still looks shredded.
He always has one in the physique department, hasn't he?
He has, and he's still
the dominator
representing there.
The dominator did not dominate in this one, though, did he?
Not this time, no. So, yeah, you can probably look up the clip, and it'll take just seconds of your time because there's just not much to see. But if you are a Pujanowski fan or just like to keep up with him, make sure you check that one out.
Also, he tapped via strikes. Like, he wasn't being...
Yeah, it was very weird.
Yeah, he wasn't being... Like, that's the... obviously, it happens, and it happened in this case. But, I more closely associate tapping with being in a hold of some sort. But he tapped just to being... stricken in the head and not being able to like defend himself from it any longer, so he just tapped out.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Yeah. So who will we see next, and what strongman would you like to see next in MMA?
In MMA, ooh, who would I like to see? Well, a lot of the big name guys are the guys with the biggest reputation are too old, I think.
That's true.
Like Brian Shaw in MMA would just be ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's too old.
He's way
too big.
Slow,
he's not going
big and slow, right?
Yeah, he's not going to fit in any weight class, so he's just way too much. I mean, you could have said Thor possibly could have made an entrance here when he was more in his boxing shape, but we watched a boxing fight with him and Eddie, and that was like the worst.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even watch the whole thing. It was just so boring and lame that there's no way an actual fight or a mixed martial arts fight is going to be any better.
Repeatonomics said Dimitar.
You know what? That is the answer. Yep. Dimitar's the answer.
It was right under our nose the whole time.
Yep. How could we forget Dimitar? He's just been laying low lately.
Yeah. Old Dimitar. Definitely a favorite of mine. Okay, we've been talking about this thing, you and I have been, and I posted something about it on our Massenomics Instagram here this last week, but Chat GPT, that's something I was like a little bit, I don't know if I really even knew it by name all that well, but I was...
And this is changing gears if people aren't aware.
Yeah, this is an enormous change of gears right now. Yeah. I gave up on the MMA. I've said all that I can about MMA. We'll come back to that in like 12 more months. No, so AI, like writing AI, everyone's seen the AI photo or the AI art that's been popular lately. I don't know what program is that, or is that exactly?
Well, I forget what the one's
Yeah.
called, where everyone had their here's me as an elf, here's me as an astronaut, here's me as
me as 5 different
Jesus-like
variations
figure.
of being jacked.
Yes, it's all what it is. Yeah, looking larger than life. And
but the AI writing, that's something I've been a little bit of aware of. I know it exists. I'm sure we've talked about it a little bit in passing and just read a few things about it. But over Christmas, my brother-in-law, he said, have you seen, like, first, are you aware of it? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm kind of aware of it. But he's like, have you seen this, like, in use yet? And I'm like, no, I guess I haven't. And I didn't realize how curious I was until he showed me the first go round. He said, like, he gave Chat GPT the prompt, like, write a humorous poem about Massenomics. And I ultimately ended up sharing something like that. And then he hit that and said, hit the enter button. And I hit it, and you watch it write it right in front of your eyes in real time, extremely quickly, like as fast as you can read, it's writing it, if not faster. And I read it that first one, and I thought, oh my God, this is like, this is going to change so much. This changes so many things. Like, in it, I guess it's kind of like a seeing is believing thing, because I didn't really fully understand what it was doing until watching it happen.
Yeah, what it was actually capable of.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, this is insane. Like, I really didn't realize that there was technology that existed quite like that yet. And I don't know, it's just wild. I think it's just going to change a lot of things, especially as it only gets better.
Yeah, so there is so much here. Like this could easily be a 2-hour topic on its own, and this is something we don't know a ton about, and we could still probably talk about it for 2 hours. I mean, the other day on the phone, I think me and you talked about this for almost an hour, just going on and on about it, because there's so much there, and it's not just, you give it a prompt and tell it to write things. Like you can ask it questions and it'll give you advice, or you can almost like ask it for like help with how an article would be, and it can spit out an article. Like you were asking, I think you said the greatest power lifter of all time, and it put together an article that, as people that are fairly knowledgeable on the subject, you couldn't argue with it. You could maybe say like, I maybe would stylistically, or I maybe would have subjectively made some different choices, but you couldn't say like, well, it did a bad job and it was totally wrong. And it was well written enough, and it made sense, and it was concise and to the point. Like, it's pretty incredible what it can do already. And when you start looking at all the things it can do, from like chat bots to article writing to potentially writing code to writing scripts, all of this stuff, it's kind of insane what is out there in the future. And in theory, this stuff is only going to get better as time goes on, which is also pretty crazy. But it does make it seem like writing content, especially if your livelihood depends on that, is going to be a dangerous place to be in the near future.
Yeah, you're going to have to, I mean, in most scenarios, you're going to have to adapt to use this technology, not to fight against the technology, I think. Like, to be successful in whatever you do in like that writing space, like this should be a tool, not something you want to avoid, I think. And the first thing that I, someone's doing Big Nate, did you see that in the Discord? He had chat GPT said Massenomics shirt design.
Yeah, give me an idea for Massenomics shirt design.
Wait a second.
And it spits out, here's an idea for new Massenomics shirt design. Design a stylized image of a barbell with the word Massenomics written across it in bold letters. Color scheme. The barbell could be rendered in black or metallic color, and the text could be in a bright, bold color like red or yellow. I mean, that's, in that case, art direction, I'd say that's pretty vague. Yeah. Like it's, but like the fact that you can ask it for general direction on things. Like, you're not just asking Google, like, hey, Google, what's the answer to this? Like, you're leaving it as an open-ended question for a stylistic thing, and it's giving you a direction to go with.
Okay, so Big Lee is in our supporting member. He's in the Discord right now, and he said, as a teacher, I am so looking forward to reading these papers. That's the first, like, upon seeing that, that's like my first thought, having been someone that went through high school, college, grad school. You know, you end up having to write a lot of papers over time, and some of it maybe Chat GPT can't do for you, but it could do a lot of things for you. If I'm saying that right, like, I'm not saying it can do everything, but it could be a pretty useful tool for a lot of papers you have to write.
Big time. And I think with the, like, if you're just talking teachers giving you assignments with, all right, short answer things, you know, where it's, all right, write a paragraph for these 5 questions, whatever it is. I'm so far removed from that, I can hardly even remember that now. But like Chat GPT could rock that. But where you can see the difference, though, is kids that are not good at writing, it's not going to fit their style at all, because it's going to be way better than they are. And then also kids that are not good at writing aren't going to have like the insight to go in and be the editor and like clean up some basic things. But, you know, once you get your B, maybe even your C, B, and A students, if they put a little effort into it, I would think Chat GPT would be really hard to, I would think you'd be able to cover your tracks and like just let Chat GPT do a lot of the work for you, right?
There's a lot of talk going on in our Discord right now, but, you know, citations is a issue, and there seems to be talk that it would make sense that only in time it could do that accurately as well, like citing all your sources and providing all of that information as well. I mean, it's obviously pulling from sources when it's writing, so I mean, it wouldn't be a stretch for it to be able to start to incorporate that too, if necessary. It is crazy. It's kind of crazy. It just doesn't make sense to me when you actually watch it happen in real time. And my thought is, wow, so it's scrubbing the entirety of information as it can be found in.
Well, and that is the question, is the same thing with like the AI art, where is its data set coming from?
Right.
You know, is it pulling from books? Is it pulling from the internet? Like, is it pulling from whatever the hell it's pulling from? Like, because that is a big point of contention with a lot of people of like, is it stealing all of my work to put in its brain to use this stuff? And so you don't really, maybe if you dig in enough, they'll give you some information on what the data set is, but that is part of, you know, how it's getting what it's getting.
And then translating that in real time, like translating that to like something that's cohesive over like multiple paragraphs. It's just like, I don't even understand how that's you know, really, really wild. It's wild stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is. And this is a field that will be changing a ton as the next, I think actually by the time the year's over, like there's going to be so much stuff that happens with this that we're going to have a hard time believing that that's what's happened in a year. I remember the first time, it was probably actually about a year ago when I showed you the art one where you could feed it prompts and it would spit out art. And we're like, that seems not even possible. And had a chance to play with that one. That one hasn't been as, I guess maybe as magical as I thought it would be, where you really do got to be like really good with your direction. And even then, when you think you have it down, you might have to clarify your direction or even change it like 30 times before you get something that you think would be acceptable. But there is a lot of stuff changing in that field for sure.
The most important question, do you think ChatGPT uses the Oxford comma or not?
That's a great question. I'm actually curious how well it works with like punctuation and things like that, because I believe the whole point of it is to be more conversational, like less formal. Right. I think that's, if you read in the stuff, you know, what they're trying to get it to do. I think they want it to be a more conversational type speaking pattern that it's going through.
So this is the only one I'm familiar with. Is this just one of many? Do you know? Like, is this?
Oh yeah, this is just. Is
this the leader?
OpenAI. Maybe I don't follow it enough to know. They might be on the chat side of things, or they at least have the brand recognition. But on the image side, there's a bunch of different people that have the image ones. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing this right now.
It's the wild, wild west, isn't it? Just like Will Smith said, wiki wild.
I think this is what he was talking about. Big evil spiders powered by artificial intelligence. Coming for our jabs.
Dicker jabs. Dicker.
Let's see. Got a lot of different things here. We could do supporting our supporting members, or we could play Has He Seen It?
Let's do supporting our supporting members. Okay. We'll flip on into that ad break, and then we'll keep the party rolling.
Okay. Are we going to let the live stream keep rolling for a while then, or are we going to boot them?
We'll see.
Okay.
It's like Russian roulette in here. You just think you're playing a game, and then boom, you're gone.
We don't even know yet when we're going to kick you out. So supporting our supporting members, I like to do it. We like to do it this way every once in a while. Every so many weeks, we just give a little rundown of some more recent supporting members. And I hadn't done that for a while, so I thought it might be fun just to welcome some of our more recent joinees to the club. And for anyone that's less familiar with supporting our supporting members, what it is we have these supporting members. First of all, it's a relatively new segment. Then we have these supporting members that like to support us. They do that through our shop. You can go online. What's the exact URL if you wanted to hop right to it?
Massenomics.com/join.
Yeah, you head there and then you can sign up. We have several different levels of supporting member that you can participate in, but all of them come with exclusive benefits like being able to listen to the podcast live each week, a discount code that only you supporting members can use, access to our online Discord community, a very, very active community of like-minded individuals, and then also the chance of being supported in this very segment. This week, we're going to support a whole bunch of them. Big Lee, thanks for supporting. Big Alec, thank you for supporting. Big Nathan, thanks for coming back as a supporting member. You were gone, but you've once again come back. You've returned to us.
You have returned.
Yes. Big Zachary, welcome. Big George, thanks for supporting. Big Daniel, thanks for coming back. What once was gone is now returned again in that case. Big Holden, Big Griffin, I think that's a welcome back also. See what happens here? We've mentioned this before, is people's cards, they get a new card and then their recurring subscription doesn't get updated. So they're gone for a while until they realize they're not supporting members anymore, and then they come on back.
And Visa won't just let us keep their cards on file forever, you know?
If only they would.
If only.
Big Austin, welcome to the crew. Big Rachel, welcome. One of the chocolate chips in our chocolate chip cookie, as if you will. Big Daniel, returning, welcome back. Big Keenan, Big Dallas, Big Joseph, Big Ryan, Big Tim, Big Luke, Big Joshua, former Massenomics gym member. Big Anthony, Big Ashton, Big James, Big Chris, Big Lauren, and Big Mitchell, our most recent one. We have kind of a little slew of them coming in this week, really. We got a whole bunch of new members this week, so it's
been a great week for new pledges.
Yes. So thank you all for becoming supporting members. Thank you for all of our longtime members. And maybe this episode comes out too late after the line in the sand, but there is a definitive line in the sand here where last time it was our supporting membership card that we sent out, and if you weren't joined by a certain point in time, you didn't get one. This time we have a new thing. It's a surprise as of now. You don't know what it is. Only Tommy and I, we're the only two people in the world that know what this thing is that we're sending out to all supporting members. And the time you're listening this, maybe you could still get joined up and get in on this this exclusive mailing. I don't know for sure when that is, but you could try. The best you can do is try.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. If not, just get in. You can say you're in early for the next go around.
Yeah.
Here.
And if you are a longtime supporting member, mention this, but make sure to let us know through a DM what your most current address is. If you think your address may have changed between now and the time you originally joined up to become a supporting member. If you think it's changed, make sure you've sent that to us so we've got your right address. Because you're not going to want to miss out on this thing we've got to send you.
No, you don't want to miss. You don't want to. And speaking of all of this supporting member stuff, the Discord just reminded me here. There was a bit of a conversation happening with Two White Lights this week. And I shouldn't say conversation. It was a one-sided conversation. There was some statements made.
Yes.
Regarding their community versus ours.
Our frenemies over at Two White Lights. So what did they?
And I'm definitely going to be paraphrasing here, but I think they said something like, we have the market cornered on like beer drinkers that like to lift.
And they're
Is
like,
that what they said?
well, like the third strongest lifters in their own home gym. I know that was a comment that was thrown out.
It was something like that.
Jorts wearing, beer drinking. Like that's their go-to is, do the Massenomics guys even actually lift? I think that's kind of, do these guys even really lift? And boy, howdy, do they lift. And we're actually a bunch of us are putting the money where our mouths are at with the Lift Hard, Live Easy Massenomics Powerlifting Classic in 2023.
There's no doubt about it. Like, our community is so strong, we can have a whole powerlifting meet full of people in our community.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
A meet that sells out in like a day because there's so many people that lift so seriously.
USAPL Nationals can't sell out that fast.
No, it's Massenomics Lift Hard, Live Easy. There's two parts to that. You don't have one without the other. You don't have the Lift Hard without the Live Easy. You don't have the Lift Easy or Live Easy without the Lift Hard. These people are lifting hard. Let that be known and clear. Everyone is lifting hard. They're just also fun people, so they're also living easy. They're complementary.
Yes, they're living easy. Yes, they're living easy as much as you could ever live easy.
Yeah. For as much as they lift hard, they equally live easy, right?
And don't get it twisted.
So yeah, we're just silly, really strong, really silly gooses is what everyone is.
But if there was any question as to who's getting the last laugh in this. I think our memes make it pretty obvious that
Well,
you don't come to our gunfight with a knife.
That's
because
they're coming to our meme. They're coming to a meme fight with
like a paper and a crayon. I think
they have some like whittled stick that they made, and we have fully automatic assault rifles.
Yeah,
Obama can't ban these guns.
Our assault rifles are just spitting out memes everywhere, and they have like a stick that they're trying to carve into the paper.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense.
That's an unfair fight, to be completely honest about that, though. Like, that's not, it's, like, you can't fault them for that. Between, us and especially the Massenomics community, like, it's just that's definitely like you just rode your raft over the most violent waterfall, and you're just getting pummeled at the bottom of that waterfall. There's no hope for you anymore. Yeah,
that's what happens when you go there.
Yeah. So we'll have to bring those guys back on to defend themselves again some point, or maybe even better yet, we won't, and we'll just talk shit when they can't defend themselves.
Let it keep being a thing. That's maybe the right thing to do.
That's the Massenomics thing to do.
Yeah, I like that.
But if you do like powerlifting talk, if you're into that sort of thing, I guess they have a podcast about that too.
They do.
They never really like talk about non-powerlifting stuff though, so I don't really get it.
And we talk about powerlifting like once every few episodes, so you probably get your fill for that here anyway.
That's way more than enough.
You don't need to overdo it.
Yeah, that's way more than enough powerlifting talk, right? Sets and reps. What's all this sets and reps talk?
Exactly. All right, what else we got on the list here?
I would talk a little bit about sets and reps because you know what I want to talk about?
Who's that?
Our good friends over at Juggernaut AI. Speaking of AI, our good friends over at Juggernaut AI.
It was right in front of us.
It was like
the whole
so many
time.
transitions built into that one transition. Speaking of sets and reps, speaking of AI, Juggernaut AI. Tommy and I both use Juggernaut AI. We've both been using it for many months at this point. I'm in the midst of a hypertrophy phase. What are you doing right now?
I just started a hypertrophy block this week, and actually, after getting off a bridge block, hypertrophy block's pretty nice, actually.
I agree. I think that's part of the appeal of the phasic structure of going from block to block is by the time you get to the end of one, you're genuinely excited for the next phase.
So just switch it up a little bit.
Let's switch it up. And it's not a wild switch. It's not like completely okay, I was marathon running. Now I'm going to test my 1 rep max on the bench. There's just these small changes over the phases that keep you, I think, like a high interest level. That's kind of how it works for me, at least.
I 100% agree because in my head I'm thinking, bridge block. Now I'm going to hypertrophy. This is going to be nuts. And then I remember it actually kind of eases into it. I have fewer exercises. I actually start with less reps because the volume's pretty low. It's almost like I'm getting a little break all of a sudden. It's kind of nice.
A lot of other good parts about Juggernaut AI. It is like having a coach right in your pocket. If you use our discount code Massenomics, you have to go, in order to do that, you have to go through your web browser. It's juggernautai.app. Go sign up there, use discount code Massenomics. That'll save you 10%. With the discount code, it makes it about $30 a month. So it's so cheap and so affordable, you almost cannot afford not to do it. Use Juggernaut AI at juggernautai.app, discount code Massenomics. Thank you, Juggernaut.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars and Buddy Caps. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best in early and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com.
Part of what I like about Studio 6.9 is now that I have a computer right at my fingertips, while you're reading an ad, I can type into the Discord chat and
you don't have to be all worried on your phone over there.
Right. So, and like if I put my hands right, maybe you can't even tell what's he doing. Oh, is he just reaching for another drink, or what is he do?
I actually can't. Yeah, I can't see, so I don't know what you're doing down there.
So I could be playing
You could
pocket
be packing
pool.
orders. For all I can tell, you're packing orders down there, right? And thank you.
It was funny. I was like just seconds before we started, I was packing orders. I'm like, well, I'm down here where there's orders to be packed.
It's like I don't ever have to leave. If there was like a toilet underneath my desk, I'd never have to leave the station ever in my life.
Hey, you're giving me ideas over there. Yeah, just need a toilet.
That's right.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to note about Studio 6.9 is we're going without a guest again this week, but I think we're geared up that we could. We're going to introduce soon our first guest, our first call-in guest to Studio 6.9. So it's really going to feel like old hat again once we throw a guest into the episode too.
I think so. We just wanted to do a few of these where we felt pretty comfortable with it. We weren't getting caught off guard with anything, and as of right now, things are feeling pretty damn good. So I think we are ready for a guest to hop in the mix here again.
And someone asked if they would be a Zoom guest also, and that's possible. We have a variety of ways to be able to do it now. So a lot of it will depend on what the guest themselves is equipped to be able to do it. Sometimes it'll just be a straight up phone call, just like it always has been, because that's kind of old reliable, and it's what we've known and had success with. But we do have the ability now with Studio 6.9 to do stuff like that. I am also going to just forever refer to this as Studio 6.9.
It can be Studio 6.99, 9999
Yes.
going forward.
Yes, Studio 6.9420.
69. Yeah, there's a lot of riffs on this.
Yes. Do we keep in the supporting members on the live stream, or do we boot them, or what do you want to do here?
We might have to boot them. We might need some alone time here.
I'm kind of sick of those guys and gals anyways.
Okay, here they go.
All right. So as we boot...
And I was supposed to report all of them too,
yes,
right? Wasn't that what we
yes,
said?
make sure that they can no longer use Zoom for work, that Zoom bans them from being able to do this so that they can't call in remotely for work tomorrow morning. And we're going to transition into Has He Seen It?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Has He Seen It is a revolutionary game that we've been playing for a few weeks now, and it's where we quiz Tommy on, we pick a year in time, and pick a subset of movies from that particular year, and we find out, has he seen them or not?
And if you haven't been following, we just got through the movies of the 20s. We're moving on to the 30s now. I haven't been doing very well.
Yeah, we're in the talkies now, as we like to call them. The speakies.
It's making our way into the top.
Has he seen it?
Classics.
Something with Charlie Chaplin.
I think those were the only movies that came out for a decade. Yeah, he was in the one where they didn't say anything and there was music and words.
But this week we are going to talk about. Last week we did 1999. A hell of a year for movies, honestly. So good that it's making me hopping us in the Wayback Machine. We're gonna go all the way back to 1988.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we're gonna. This is a new curveball system where I got to keep you guessing each week, because I know you've been cheating, and the week, I know we just did 1999, so you've been binge watching all the movies from 2000.
I just watched 50 different movies from the year 2000 this week, and I'm just realizing how many hours of my life I wasted doing that.
Well, you're safe, because we'll probably do 2000 next week, and then it's still...
And not only did I watch 50 movies, each one I have a notebook entry of an elaborate story of how I watched it in the year 2000, and that was all for nothing now.
Yes, all for nothing. Should have been doing your 1988 homework. Interesting set of movies we got here for 1988. We got 7 of them. I'll say this: you're not probably going to do as well as 88 as you did 1999 and 1998.
I'm gonna go. I just thinking back. I don't think I've really seen that many movies from the 80s in general. And 1989 was a if that's any indication, that is the truth. So I'm going to say 3, and that's being a little optimistic there.
I think you'll know all these movies. I'm pretty sure I think you'll definitely know all these movies, whether you've actually seen them or not. I think 3 might not be a bad guess. I would maybe guess 4, but we'll see. That's why we play. That's why they play the game, right? You know, I mean,
That's why the game's here.
So, first, to get this kicked off, I want to hit you with a little something, okay? This is 1988. Right. Has he seen it?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh, Die Hard. Of course, I haven't seen it. I have actually never seen Die Hard before.
So, you do not get this.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I mean, I know it's from Die Hard. I actually think I maybe have actually even seen that scene before, too. I've seen parts of the movie, but I've never just sat down and seen all of Die Hard before.
Yeah, that scene's just too iconic that everyone just knows that and what it's from, whether you've seen the movie or not.
It is, and I have not seen it. So
you know what meme I really like? I noticed this year for Christmas. You know, of course, Die Hard's the Christmas movie, but it's like
my favorite Christmas movie. It's like, no, you don't get it. It's during Christmas
and
time.
They're like, yes, we get it. It's like the guy that insists on telling you that Die Hard's his favorite Christmas movie. Like, thank you, we get it. You're like, no, he's wearing a Santa hat. So, 0 for 1, you have not seen it. I wish I had a sound effect for each movie, but the only one I got to was Die Hard.
Okay, I thought you were really up in the production
Well, I
value
thought
this
of
week on
how
me.
fun it would be if I did have a sound effect for each movie, and then I was like, oh yeah, Die Hard, yippee-ki-yay, and then the rest of them, I'm like, I don't know what the sound bite is for all the next 6.
Right? He's maybe never even seen this, let alone know a line from the movie.
Yeah. 0 for 1. Okay. Now we're going to get into the Tom Cruise section of 1988.
Oh, God. All right.
So you're going to have a bad start
go.
here. And when I say section, there is more than one movie here.
Uh-oh.
But they are both popular. They are popular movies. So has he seen it? Cocktail.
No, I don't think I've even heard of that one.
Cocktail. That was the one if there was one I was to guess you hadn't heard of, that was the one. The rest.
Does it have something to do with a bar?
Yeah. It's a bartender. So we're not good on the, cause what was that Roadhouse? You also, everyone didn't like you hadn't seen Roadhouse, and everyone's not going to like that you don't know what cocktail is, I think.
I've never heard of this movie. I'm looking up the cover right now. I don't remember ever seeing the cover. This whole thing is new to me
Your 1980s bar movie trivia is not very good.
could really use some work, couldn't it? I was really starting to think I was a movie guy again, you know,
when we're in 1980,
approaching the 2000s.
97, 98,
late
99.
90s, 2000s, and all of a sudden that's going away from me again.
Okay.
You know, actually his the synopsis for the movie here doesn't sound a whole lot different than what could be like a Nathan For You sketch. Brian Flanagan wants a high-paying marketing job, but needs a business degree first. Working as a bartender to pay for college, Flanagan is mentored by his veteran boss. Together, they show tricks and charisma, command large crowds, and tip payments. Oh boy! And then they have a
the flair bartenders do. I think a lot.
Is that
like that's a lot of what Cocktail is. You know,
okay,
that trickery shit that the fancy bartenders do.
Gotcha.
Okay, so 0 for 2. Next one, I know you've heard of this one, but the question is, has he seen it? In the Tom Cruise section of 1988, Rain Man.
I've not seen Rain Man. It's another one of these movies I've seen on TV before. I've seen parts of it. Never seen the whole thing again.
It's a good movie. I can vouch for Rain Man. That one's worth watching if you ever had the chance.
I remember. I think I saw more of the iconic scenes when they're actually in the casino,
right.
You know, playing cards and all that. And yeah, I thought it was really interesting, but
definitely
for whatever
20.
reason,
Definitely 20.
Yeah.
It's my Dustin Hoffman as Rain Man impersonation.
You nailed it. I thought I was looking at Dustin Hoffman for a minute here at a blackjack table or whatever the hell. Is that what they play there? Blackjack?
Yeah.
In the movie?
Yeah. So good movie, but you have not seen it. 0 for 3. Okay, now I feel better about some of these. I'm not sure if you've seen them. I just feel a little better about some of these here. So, have you seen it, The Land Before Time?
I have. I actually had that video growing up.
Everyone did,
and
right?
I think so. It's one of those. Everyone had the VHS tape in their house.
It's funny because that
And if
came
they didn't
out
have the
way
first one-
before. Like that came out just a year after I was born. Like I wasn't watching VHSs when I was 1. It came out before you were born, I suppose. But like everyone had that still, like 10 years later.
Yeah, that is surprising to me when you say that, because I would have guessed that was a movie from the 90s because everyone there did have it. But if you didn't have the first one, you had like the second or maybe the third one. Like everyone had one of those movies in their house. And with that being said, I do not remember one part of that movie right now.
I mean, you remember it's the dinosaur.
Is it Littlefoot?
Yeah,
Is
Littlefoot.
it-
There. I was just going to say, do you know? I was thinking that the pterodactyl is Petrie.
That does sound very
I
familiar.
wouldn't have remembered Littlefoot until you said it, but I always remembered Petrie because I liked that character.
I'm actually just thinking right now, my boy's getting very
Oh.
into dinosaurs. He would probably love
Yeah.
this. I never even thought of it.
Yeah, The Land Before Time. I think it's streaming on Amazon because I had the same thought when I saw this. I'm like, oh, I could watch The Land Before Time with my kids for sure.
Yeah, Petrie is the pterodactyl. Spike, the Spike. Sarah, the Triceratops. The sharp tooth, Ducky. Yeah, I mean, I watched this a ton when I was little. I just do not remember the plot at all. But I mean, we had the VHS, watched it a lot. I would be very interested to watch this one again.
So you have seen it though. 1 for 4.
I have.
I need to follow up and watch that again. Okay, next one. I'll say the name of this 3 times. This movie. Have you seen it? Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
I actually have never seen Beetlejuice. I've seen, it's another one of those. I remember I had a friend close to my house, and it seemed like they loved Beetlejuice, and I remember it being on at their house many, many times. But for whatever reason, I never watched it. Probably because when I was a little kid, it was too scary for me. Beetlejuice was like scary. Just the guy himself was scary to me. I'm sure the movie is not scary at all, but I have never seen it.
I've seen it. Did you ever watch the cartoon Beetlejuice? Have you ever? Are you familiar?
I remember.
Okay.
I remember seeing the cartoon on TV.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember catching that once in a while. Not a ton, but once. in a
Yeah,
while.
I liked the cartoon. So not doing good. You may be poised for one of your worst weeks ever on Has He Seen It? Doesn't surprise me as we get older and older into the 80s here though. Although 89, you were 4 for 7.
I was really
Yeah.
wow.
But right now you're sitting at 1 for 5. So 2 left. 2 left. You've got a chance here.
Okay, I could still get. 3.
I don't know how we're doing with these, but have you seen it? Bloodsport.
Yeah, I have seen Bloodsport.
Okay.
That's one that is super iconic
Right.
and was also on. I want to say like TNT and Spike TV, like nonstop in the 90s.
For sure.
Or
Probably
whenever those
aired on
networks existed.
Like 25% of Spike TV's programming was Bloodsport.
I think so. Or at the very least, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen Bloodsport. Very good movie. Actually, I have no idea how it holds up. I just remember as a kid, all right, fight scenes, I'm in. This is awesome.
2 for 6. Last one. Historically, we end on an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie whenever possible, and this year is no exception to that rule. So the finale, have you seen it? Twins, Basil. Twins.
I have not seen Twins. I have not seen it. I don't really even know what the movie's about. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's Danny
what I'm
DeVito,
missing
right?
there.
And it's Arnold. And
Yeah, that's all I know. Arnold and Danny DeVito. That's all I know about it.
Yep.
Maybe I better get the synopsis here. So I'm.
So you're wound up a 2 of 7 this week, which you've gone in 1991 you were 1 of 7, in 1990 you were 2 of 7. So this equals your second worst of all time at 2 of 7. But maybe next week we'll go back to the year 2000, and I bet you'll up that score a little bit, don't you think?
I think I will. Now, whenever you say Twins, I just think of that time Ryan and Larry took that picture
Yes.
together. Do you remember
yes.
that? They reenacted the cover.
That's an iconic Massenomics picture
It is.
where
Commercial success.
Larry's-
The movie was a commercial success.
Larry's leaning on your brother.
Yep, leaning
They're
on
both,
Ryan.
I
They
think
got
wearing the
what
bench
is it?
heavy shirt.
And gray sweatpants,
Yeah.
I think.
All right. That wraps up another edition of Has He Seen It on the Massenomics podcast. Are we going to get into a prediction time then? Is it?
I think so. I think it's time to do a little looking into the
2023
future.
predictions. So that way, next December, we can look back on this and find out how terribly wrong we were. If we're still...
Well, we were pretty...
Okay.
We weren't too
Okay.
bad this past
Okay.
year. So what I did, went back, kept a fair number of the things in from last year, just updated some numbers in it because I think those were some good benchmarks. And then I believe you also brought some new and exciting items to the table this year, didn't you?
I just had a couple notes of the things we could toss in there.
Okay. So should we get started?
Yes.
All right. My first one. The Arnold will have more booths at it than it did in 2022.
That's an interesting question, isn't it?
It is. And I was going to say more people, but it's really hard to gauge how many people are at the Arnold.
Yeah, but
very
more
hard.
booths we'll know. Just, that's a feeling you can know, and we know what the map looks like going into it and everything, so we know that.
Mm-hmm.
2022 was obviously a down year. The first year back after, was it 2-year high? I was thinking about this earlier. It was
2-year hiatus.
So we did not go in 2021. We did not go in 2020 was the year where we called off in the 11th and a half hour, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
so
correct.
2019 was the last year prior to that we were there. And 2022 was kind of almost a shadow of 2019.
It was very much a shadow.
Yeah.
And not the Dorian Yates kind of shadow either.
And it wasn't a gift. 2022, still a lot of fun, still a lot of people there. Just relatively speaking to the pinnacle
compared
Arnold,
to the absolute insanity that it used to be.
Right. It was definitely down. And the question is, how will it compare to 2022? I'd want to say it's going to be more booths, right? That's good for Massenomics business.
Well, that's what I want to say. But actually, at the same time, the number of booths doesn't necessarily matter.
It doesn't
just matters
matter.
when people are coming in the door.
That's true.
That is really what matters.
Less booths with more people coming in the door is probably better for Massenomics, right?
Probably.
We don't need other booths in order for us to sell a lot of merchandise.
Oh. All right. Next year, cap it to 4 apparel vendors, and Massenomics will be one of them.
Yes. To answer your question, I hope it's going to be more, but for the sake of what I've seen lately, I'm going to say it will not be more. I will say it will be less.
I agree with you. I think I don't know why this is the case. I think people are stupid to not go to it. It's the easiest way to get in front of
the most number
the
of
most
people.
engaged audience. But based off of what we're seeing right now, I don't think there's going to be as many booths as there was last year.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that changes.
Oh, I hope we're so wrong.
There's no matter what, there's already a list of vendors of people there that I really like and are going to be fun to hang out with. So that's good. There's already the top level competitors that are all going to be there, and the top level competitions that are going on.
All the recipe is there for an amazing Arnold.
It's just the only thing that it looks like right now it's lacking is as many vendors as would be signed up at this point in time as what I suspect that there should be. So I guess at the end of the day, I just like what we're saying, I don't care if there's not as many vendors, but it's just a better sign if there's more vendors there, I think.
Definitely. It shows a healthier, happier industry.
So we're in to find something. I mean, and that also, if the vendors are down from 2022 in 2023, if it's noticeably down, something's going to have to change. I mean, one way or another, something's changing. It might be that nobody goes to that thing anymore and it just dies, or they're going to have to change something to make it more vendor friendly.
Enticing for, yes. And I think the first thing is going to be
lower the
them looking at
freaking
their
price.
pricing.
My God.
Yeah.
Like that's got to happen.
Yep. Okay. So that's question 1. Question 2, we're going to keep this in here another year. Dan Bell will set a new all-time world record.
I know his next meet is going to be the Pioneer, whatever that's called, down in Texas. I think they're competing in South Padre, and that's not too far away. I think it's possible he could set a record at that meet from my limited knowledge on it. So I'm going to say yes, he will. Beyond that, we also know what other meet he'd be talking about, the Massenomics Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic.
Like, how insane, I was just thinking about that. How insane would that be if the biggest powerlifting total of all time happened in Aberdeen, South Dakota? The Lift Hard Live Easy Classic.
Why I don't think it'll happen there is because it's combo rack.
Right.
You know, so that's probably not what's going to happen there, you know, depending on what he wants to do and stuff. No doubt it's going to be extremely fun.
Absolutely.
But I do think we could see him break a sleeves record at this point, sleeves total record. So I'm going to go with yes, we will.
I'm going to agree with you on that one too.
Yep. And I just like to bet on Dan. You're never wrong betting on Dan.
Yes, it's always fun to bet on him for sure. Next on the list, Massenomics will have a booth at 4 events this year.
What was the number last year?
Last year was 3. 3 was the number last year.
So what did we do last year? Did we do 3 or did we do 4?
We got 3 last year.
Sioux Falls powerlifting meet,
Arnold, and you did CrossFit.
Right. So we know we're in for the Arnold.
Yep.
We know we're in for the Massenomics Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. So that's 2 gimmies.
There's 2 right there.
We haven't talked about it yet, but
more.
I believe in March, right in eastern southeast South Dakota. Now that's at a different location though now too, isn't it?
It is, but it's still eastern southeast.
Right. But I'm just thinking as far as booth goes, I don't know if it's as conducive for a booth
right. It probably is.
Yeah. So that's an option, and then Fargo is probably an option. So the question is, do we have 4?
That there could be the same CrossFit venues. Right. I'm almost thinking 4 might be too low of a number.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Things can always come up as they do. But
I'll say yes. I'd feel really comfortable if it was 3 again saying yes, but especially with the 2 gimmies in there, I'll say yes.
That's what I'm going with too. All right. You hinted at this one in the Discord just a little bit ago. Will Buddy Caps be on the podcast in 2022? 2023. He didn't make it in 2022. Will 2023?
Last year I said yes, it will happen, and it didn't happen. I'm going yes, it's going to happen. I think we're going to make it happen this year.
I feel like we have to will this one into existence, so we are both going yes here.
It's just all building up to this now. You know, it's just all it's going to crescendo with Buddy Caps here. Maybe we'll save it for what episode? This is 353. So will we hit episode? We'll just hit episode 400 in 2023.
Yeah, we will actually. Yeah, it'll probably be November-ish?
Yeah. So maybe that could be a 400 surprise as Buddy Caps.
Oh, okay. Talking the number game a little bit now. What are we on Instagram this very moment?
44,930, give or take.
44,930. I'm making a note of this right now.
Yeah.
Will we hit 50K on Instagram?
The way it's going now, no, and that stuff's so subject to change. Didn't we say when we guessed this last time? Didn't we kind of say no, and then all of a sudden it took off a little bit and exceeded what we thought a little bit in 2022?
I think I'd have to look. Yeah. Actually, I have the number here. Our guess last year was, will we hit 44 on Instagram?
Did we?
And here we're at 40. We're at 45.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna. So the question is 50.
Yep.
Now
is 50 doable?
It's doable. It's definitely possible. I mean, it's not a outrageous chance, but just what I've seen lately trending, my answer, I think the money bet is no.
I think you're probably right, but I don't want us to have the same answer and everything, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Here.
Well, yes is the more.
I want to be the optimist.
Yeah.
Here.
I mean, it is very possible, especially it just takes a couple. Honestly, it just takes a couple things to hit, and it could be there. But I hope so.
For sure. So. We need to get that. We need to get that 5,000 over the next 12 months. We got some work to do.
That's not like in past years we've exceeded that, and it's like, well, you think we're a bigger company, it'd be easier to do. It's just a function of Instagram at this point, though. That's what I'm betting on Massenomics, but against Instagram, kind of.
Mm-hmm. I totally get it. All right, this one's maybe a little easier. We're currently at 458 podcast reviews. Will we hit 500?
We're gonna do that. We're gonna hit 500.
Totally agree.
We're definitely, because we'll push on that. We'll hit that.
All right, we are at
Leave us a
330.
and that reminds me, leave
Yes.
us a podcast review so we can get to 500. So we're not wrong.
And
on
if you
that.
left one, grab your spouse's, significant others,
Anyone's,
friends'
parents'
phone, and
phones.
leave a review on theirs.
Yes, we need 500. 500 would look
yeah.
good. I think two-way lights doesn't even have 200, so let's just blow them out of the water.
Yeah, let's just leave them in the dust. And we always have something big planned, so that's the other thing.
Yep.
You get rewarded, basically.
Yeah, you're going to
for
want to
us.
see what happens when we get lucky number 500.
We are currently at 330 Spotify ratings. Will we get to 450?
Oh, I was hoping you're going to say 400.
It's too. I think it's too low of a number to say.
Those really. I have no pulse on what those are doing.
I
but
don't either.
It seems like they're really moving up fast, so I'm going to say yes that we'll get to 450.
I'm going to agree with you there.
I don't check that. That's not something I monitor.
But
so
that hasn't been around for much more than a year, though, has it?
I don't. Not a long time. No.
And we're at 330. You could say we got all the low hanging fruit
That's
there,
true.
but I think we could get to 450.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's doable.
go give us a rating on Spotify too, so we can hit that.
All right, talking guests on the podcast. Last year, we wanted to know if we could hit 42 guests, and I think, hit about 44, 45, depending on if you count multiple guests on the same show or not. But
Right.
we beat it by a few. It was a pretty good number. In my head, I might be wrong, but I assume this year we'll do maybe a few less guests since we're remote podcasting now. So I bumped the number down a little bit.
Okay.
We will have the number here. Will we have at least 35 guests on the podcast?
35. So if you talking 52 weeks, that's leaving 17 off of there.
Mm-hmm.
What's that percentage wise? So,
So it's leaving about, 1.5 off a month?
yeah, that'd be it's basically a third. Then a third of the time we wouldn't have guests. So one every 3 episodes we will not have a guest. We're starting in this deficit with the way that this is.
True. Yeah, but
It's still really only a couple episodes though.
And because some of these do technically come out.
Boy.
Well, yeah, no, the first 2 of the year will be without one.
I think we'll hit 35. If it would have been 42, I would have said no, but you're picking good numbers there where it really makes me think. But I think we'll probably hit 35 if I think of it as every 3 episodes that 2 of them are with a guest. I think that's what I think we'll do that.
I think I might have went a little too easy. I think the real over-under number there is about 38 and a half. That's probably the real number.
That's what I think it is.
But I think we'll go over 35.
Yeah.
I think we will. That being said, we have not actually had a guest on yet, so we have no idea how that's going to go.
Right.
But I think it's going to go good. It should. I have this one on here. I don't like this one. This is a dumb one. So I want to get a new one. Okay, here we go. I'm writing it out. The gym will acquire 4 new power bars of some kind.
I'm gonna go with no on that one because we've the wish list on bars has become so low now. With I don't know if we talked about it, but we added the Cadillac bar more recently. That I think the
Okay, so if I take out even power bars and just say bars in general, is that a better one? Or
I
is that
still
not
think the answer is no, just because the only bars I really have my sights on now that we don't have would be a all stainless steel bar. And I'm kind of wanting to get something besides Rogue just because.
Yep, for some variety.
And then also I've been thinking about the Alico, the granddaddy of the price tag. Because how much is I think the Alico.
Isn't it about 700?
I think it might be 1,000 on it.
Is it now?
Maybe it's
probably
somewhere around
honestly,
there.
I haven't looked at that in 5+ years.
I thought about getting that for literally no other reason other than just to have it.
Was the Kabuki deadlift bar ever on the list or not?
I mean, it's not on the list. It's just not a priority, though, since we have the Texas, the Oki, and the Rogue. I'm like, we don't have a need for a 4th deadlift bar.
Okay, well, because you have a little more sway in this one, I'm gonna bend this one in my favor a little bit and just say the gym will acquire 3 new bars in 2023 because when that first thing comes up on Facebook Marketplace in February, and someone's
That's
saying,
a good point.
Here's
That's what
I'm selling my
happens,
gym
actually,
stuff.
yeah.
Yes. And I'm gonna say the gym will get at least 3 new bars this year.
And I'll say no, but that's a good point. Actually, I think that's very possible that would happen in that, because that happened this year where it's like, oh, there's a Texas squat bar for sale at like half price. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm buying that.
Yeah, you can't not get that. And like that comes up at least like once or twice a year. So then it's like, okay, are you going to buy one new bar? Is there going to be a Facebook one? And then there's that wild card in there somewhere, what that's going to be. So I think 3 is a decent number there.
That's good. Some things that are on the list are the Rogue Rhino belt squat. We have a belt squat, but I've really been considering upgrading to the Rogue Rhino. It's like $2,500, but pretty sweet piece of equipment from everything I've seen.
Is that considered about as good as it gets, the Rhino?
In my opinion, yes. People would say the West Side barbell, like the giant things. Especially if you're if you're a Louis Simmons enthusiast, West Side barbell enthusiast, I think you'd lean towards those. But this steals some things from those, anyways. I think, but that's kind of what I think. Yeah, I think it kind of is. I think it is. So that's on the list. Upgrading the sound system is definitely on the list. I think that'll probably happen in 2023. Like a big upgrade,
a major quality of life improvements.
Yeah, like make that like a big up. Not that what we have now is terrible or doesn't do the job. It's just kind of a big cool improvement. I think that at this point we have so much of the equipment stuff. More people will get more marginal utility from the improves sound system.
It is the one piece of equipment that gets used every single time. Right. It might be the only piece of equipment that gets used every single time someone's at the gym.
Right. So that's on the list. Then what I've been eyeing just as of recently is enormous kettlebells. Like they sell 200-pound kettlebells.
Really?
Yeah.
200.
So there's like and they're usually kettlebells, whatever. They're usually in kilos, so that's an odd number. But it's like a 206-pound kettlebell. I want one of those, and then there's like a 178, and then there's a 150. I want singles.
So who makes those?
Rogue.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, the shipping is ridiculous on it, but they look ridiculous. A 200-pound kettlebell is enormous. I mean, it's obviously is, but like it just looks ridiculous. So I want those huge ones, and I don't know exactly what people will use them for, but I think they will get used at times, and also they just look wild that they're so big. So I want to get some of those for the kind of the strongman area at the gym.
Yeah, the monster kettlebell, that thing is beefy.
Yeah, and then like a set of 100s and maybe a couple sets of like we just have sets up to like 55 now. I'd like to get some sets in like the 70 range and stuff too.
So yeah, the 203-pound is $320.
Yeah.
What do you think the shipping is on
that? It's bad. It's like the shipping if you buy just that one is like a couple $100. So to get that,
really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh yeah, right here. Please note, all kettlebells over 70 pounds in weight will ship free.
Yeah, so that's why it doesn't make sense to just buy that 200. If I do it, I buy like 6 or 7 different ones, and then the shipping doesn't go up incrementally all that much. So, so that's a sidetrack on some things that are on the list, and like that's a thing. There's no real need for that, but I just think it's one of those things. It's another one of those things when you walk in and you go, the hell is that for?
Yeah, wow, didn't even know they made those.
Right.
And here there's multiple of them sitting here. Yeah, I kind of assume those things maxed out at like maybe 100.
Yes.
Okay. Last one on my list. We will podcast in December of 2023 and remember to cover these.
Well, with now that this is a thing, I'm going to say, I think we'll remember. I think I would have forgot this last year. Luckily, you remembered, but I think I'll even remember this next go around.
I agree. I'm agreeing with you on that one.
Okay.
Okay. So do you have some for us?
I had
now?
a couple like us following strength sports. I had a couple there that I was going to hit on, and I was thinking the Dan Bell one. I forgot that was already one, so I'm going to throw a twist to that, a different powerlifting one. John Hack. The question is, will he total over 2,300 pounds in 2023? His best meet, his highest total to date is September 24th of 2022. He totaled 2,270 pounds. So he is 30 pounds shy of it.
I think he's going to. He just still keeps improving.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's been at 27 or 2270 for 2 years. He just gets better every single meet. I don't know why you would say no at this point. I don't think you could.
Yeah, and by the numbers, that 2270, he did it with a 766 squat, a 601 bench, and a 904 deadlift. So I'm like, God, I don't know how much more he squeaks out of his bench and deadlift right now, but
I know it does seem like just off of how these things typically go that the squat is where there's ground to be made up, doesn't
but
it?
I'm like, I don't know, maybe he can deadlift like 915 instead of 904, and
yeah, I guess if you're deadlifting 904, yeah, what's 920? What's 930 at that point?
Right. So you're saying yes?
I'm gonna say yes on that.
Oh, that just seems like so much at what he weighs. But also, it's kind of like, Dan, I wouldn't really bet against him. I guess I think he'll improve his total in 2023. I guess I think he'll hit it. I think he'll figure out a way that he hits like exactly that number. So I'll say yes.
Yeah, it's what's it? 30 pounds. You said he's got to make up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a decent amount of it to increase your total by 30 pounds.
It is.
Like it's not nothing.
But then at the same time, like you say, okay, can he put 15 on squat and then like 7 on deadlift and 5 on bench then, and then he's there?
Yeah.
That seems doable.
It does.
But I wouldn't fault him if he doesn't get there,
No.
but it seems like he's very, very, very capable of doing it.
And then I had two strongman ones. So the first one is, will Tom Stoltman win World's Strongest Man again? So will he repeat as World's Strongest Man? That's the question. So it's kind of, are you taking Tom Stoltman or the field, really? Because if you're saying not him, you'd be anyone else is going to win. But so will Tom Stoltman win again?
I am going to go no on this one. There's a lot of really good competitors out there, and I think it could be, it could just be a strongman more than anything. It could just be anyone's day, So I'm going to say no, he will not repeat.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, too, just because of there's too many variables. He could get injured. It's just injuries are just so common.
So easy to get injured. Yeah, or come in just not at 100%.
And when you're getting the choice of one person versus the entire field in strongman, like the way it's been over the last several years, I would take the field. Although there's a point in time where I would have said if it was Halfthor, I probably would have picked him over the field. There's a point in time there.
What maybe would have been the better question here? There will be will there be a new first-time World's Strongest Man winner?
That's a good one. That I would say no, because now so many of them, Novikov, Martins, and Stoltman have all won it.
True.
So I'm like, there's some of the big-time favorites. So I think one of them will win it. Yeah, that would be a better question probably, but I think my answer for that is yes. My answer for that is no, there won't be a first-timer.
Mm-hmm. And I'd say the same thing once you say that out loud of who has won and who's competing. It just seems like, one of those guys are just such a favorite still, aren't they?
I think so. Okay, so the last one that I've got, and this is maybe more interesting given our history of what we talk about with Strongman on the Massenomics podcast, is in 2023 World's Strongest Man, will Brian Shaw finish in the top 5 at the finals? Will he be in the top 5 finishers at the finals at World's Strongest Man?
Good one. Top 5. God, he's gonna do something stupid like be second or 8th. Can I defer and let you go first?
Yeah, I just wanted to see what place he got in 2022 exactly and see if that...
Wasn't he 3rd?
Is that what it was?
I could be wrong, but...
hopefully Google doesn't do me dirty on this one and I can figure it out.
Just ask ChatGPT.
That is what we need. Okay. I found it on Wikipedia. So, oh my God. Don't give me the heats first. Final standings.
He was not 3rd.
4th.
He must have been like 4th.
Yeah, he got
5th.
4th.
Okay, there you go.
37.5 points in 4th. So he did make it there. Tom Stoltman, Martins, and Novikov all finished ahead of him. And then Trey Mitchell is behind him, Maxime Boudreau, Luke Stoltman, Mitchell Hooper. I think he is not going to finish in the top 5. I think he won't. And I've bet on him so many times over the years.
Yeah, now that I was thinking he got 3rd, now that you say he got 4th this year, it makes me think he's not going to beat that. But at the same time, I don't want to say the same answer as you because we're in agreement
he is
on
pretty
all these except for like 2.
and like he's going to be pretty good at most of the events. Like he's not going to do, and that's kind of how.
Okay, I'm gonna put you down as a no, and I'm gonna say yes, just so that we're different. Yep, we only have 1, 2, 3. We only have 3 that we're in that we're not in agreement on here. So
those will be the crucial ones. Decide who wins.
It could be a tight one.
And loses this very important game here.
That's right. All right. Well, I like that. Okay, we are going to follow up. Let's pick a date out in December. Let's see. December. How does December 16th sound?
Perfect. Yep. That's the date. That's the right date.
Whoa, 2026. What am I doing?
Episode 600.
How the hell did I get there?
And well, you're getting that date in. I'm going to play a little something for everyone here that I wanted everyone to listen to. It's important.
Okay.
This is very important. So please open your ears for this.
This is the Strength Company. We've set out to build a better barbell plate on American soil. We ended up here at Wisconsin's legendary Wapaka Foundry. With over 60 years of ironworking experience, the foundry had the knowledge, technology, and processes to build our weights to our exact specifications. The Strength Company plates are slim but rugged, smooth but easy to grip, and electro-coated for durability and to look great in your gym. This is the next generation of American iron. Only available from the Strength Company.
Wow, that was amazing.
If you watched along on video, you also saw me holding up the Strength Co., the go-to plates of Massenomics gym sticker. Free with every order purchased from Massenomics.
Do you see what I'm holding up on video?
Yeah, bust that out. We only got 2 days left until that's relevant and timely.
This is I'm holding the Massenomics dashboard calendar. So still a few left, I believe, if you want to place an order. There's a chance you could still pick up one of these bad boys.
There's a chance.
No guarantees.
No.
But there is a
another
chance.
thing that we have, though, is this new promotional podcast card that's going along with every order. And if you've been collecting these, the last one was, let's see, what was the last one we were giving out? It was the one with the artwork of us on it.
Yes, that is
Prior
correct.
to that, it was us with the suits and some quotes. Prior to that, it was one like this, only with a different podcast on the cover. That one had, who was on that one? It was
West Side.
Greg Penora.
I can't think of his name.
Greg Penora. But now this one, Alan Thrall, episode 344 is on this one. So got to get an order in so you can collect the latest podcast card.
Got to catch them all.
Right.
This episode is also brought to you by SwissLink. SwissLink was founded in 1995 by Maurice Big Mo Huffman. He had a partner based in Switzerland, and their mission was to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Over the years, their goods have expanded far beyond Switzerland, Sweden, and any one of those European wacky countries,
crazy old
to
countries.
countries all over the world. For nearly 3 decades, they've been traveling far and wide in search of the best items. They don't only find authentic military clothing for SwissLink, they bring in everything you can imagine, from Czech Army bedpans to Italian champagne glasses. They also have military-issue backpacks, wool blankets, NATO fuel cans, gas masks, emergency food, first aid kits, survival packs, camping gear, and so much more. Treat yourself to the real thing with authentic military surplus and save 15% off your first order from swisslink.com with code MASS, M-A-S-S, at checkout. Thank you, Swisslink.
Important update. My wife loved the Swisslink wool blankets.
Was she like, who in the hell went shopping for you?
Yeah, she loved them. They're machine washable. They're wool. They're blankets at Swisslink.
Did she say, they're
She
great?
said, they're blankets. So she did really like the wool blankets, and I saved 15% by using discount code Massenomics, just like you could too. Although no one
That's
got
a
me
win-win.
that fuel can.
Check our
well,
pen?
the fuel,
Oh, the
or
fuel can?
that, but no one got me that fuel can for Christmas that I kind of wanted. So there's ideas for everyone for next year for me.
There's always next year.
Yeah.
Can't rule that one
fuel
out yet.
can. We've got a little game we like to play on this show called Overrated, Underrated. Tommy, I think you're familiar with it.
I'm very familiar
Okay.
with it.
Hope
I damn near
I
wrote
was
the
hoping
game.
you weren't going to say you're vaguely. I think Chat GPT wrote this game. We said Chat
the machines are gonna
GPT
beat me
write
on
the
this
rules of overrated, underrated.
I'd love to
Yeah.
see what it comes up with
But
there.
there's a theme to this week's version of overrated, underrated, and you'll pick up the theme as we go. So I'm just going to jump into it. I'm not going to tell you the theme. You'll have to deduce what
All
the
right.
theme is.
Use my critical thinking
Yeah.
skills to find the pattern
Yes.
and yeah.
So you've got your druthers to elaborate as much or as little as you'd like on each one, but you just have to remember you can't ride the line. You have to ultimately decide if each topic is overrated and underrated. And if you're playing along on Massenomics Bingo, you can find that at massenomics.bingo on your browser. I probably just said like 3 things right there in the rules for over under.
Mm-hmm.
So check them off the list.
Someone just yelled bingo at the top.
We've
of their
got a
lungs
good
in their
bingo.
house.
So first one, Tommy, overrated or underrated Birkenstocks?
Birkenstocks. Ooh. Clothing is always tough because it goes in waves, you know? I've never owned a pair, and I think that you could say, based on that fact, that I believe they're overrated, because if I thought they were underrated, I probably would have purchased a pair by now. I did consider it for a moment, but then I'm like, I don't feel like that fits with who I am. So, I think they're overrated. I do think they're overrated.
Birkenstocks are fairly expensive, right?
Yeah, they're like $110 sandals with like a cork sole on them or whatever they have.
Yeah. That's more so when I think about it, I'm like, that makes me feel like maybe they're a little overrated for the price point they're selling at for what they are. But that's true
to
with
be
a lot
clear,
of things and a lot of different, that's just
Yeah, to be clear, I have no problem spending $100+
Right.
on a pair of footwear. Like, that doesn't bug me at all. But I'm also not a huge sandal guy.
Right.
Like, that's just so. I definitely think they're overrated. I don't really care for sandals that much in general, and then to spend that much on a pair that, not that. It's like right now. Okay, I go to a commercial gym now, and man, Nike Blazers, those are the frickin' just.
everybody's
That's like the official gym shoe. That's
Is
the
that
official
what everyone
gym
wears
shoe.
at the gym?
The mid top, Yep. And I had
Because nobody has those like at Massenomics gym. I don't think.
no. It's. I thought it was the TikTok gym shoe, and then when I go to a gym, I'm like, damn, okay, yeah. This guys and girls. I bet today. Like, I went today, and it was the slowest day I've gone. It's Christmas break, so I think it's
Right.
normally busy for kids. I'm usually like the oldest guy lifting weights.
Right.
I like to think of myself as the old wise guy there.
The old hat.
But
Hashtag
yeah.
masters.
Exactly, it is. But I'd say even today there was probably, I don't know, 10 to 15 other people there, obviously all younger than me, and I would guess at least 6 of them had Blazers on. Like, it's just, that is the official gym shoe. And I loved Blazers. I had a few pairs of them. I thought they were so cool. This was like, I'm doing the hipster thing.
Yeah.
Like 10, 12 years ago, I had them, and like no one really had them then, and that was what made them cool. And now everyone has them. And so I just like, I like Blazers, but now they're like scratched off my list of shoes I want to buy because they're just way too common. It's almost the same thing with Jordan 1s. Like, I
Yeah.
think Jordan 1s are awesome looking shoes, but it's just the shoe that everyone wears. And just the second everyone starts doing something, I kind of like don't want to do that now. So I'm saying overrated on Birkenstocks. So, yeah,
Okay.
To bring that back,
I had to
sandals,
remember which one
overrated.
I had asked you about. So that was just still the first one on Birkenstock. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Overrated on Birkenstocks.
And actually, we need to bring this back. One more thing. We've said this at the Arnold before. We've even said this in person before. We're like, who actually buys and wears Gymshark and Young LA stuff? Like we say we never see people with those on.
Have you seen that stuff at the gym?
Go to a commercial gym, people have that stuff on.
Okay.
It's very popular with the younger crowd at a commercial gym.
Okay.
Like it's very, very common to see people wearing that stuff.
Yeah, we're in such a weird, isolated thing at Massenomics.
We
gym.
are. It's like kind of been eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
I'm almost getting, it's almost like
no,
I'm
everyone
really,
is wearing this stuff. Like everyone is like that.
Yep. It's like I'm kind of going to a gym for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like learning the rules of the ropes over here.
Right.
And yeah. So it's
It's like
very
all
much
the
a thing.
jokes and stuff, they actually are true. They're not just like something you
like, because
joke
for us,
about.
they kind of are abstract
right.
jokes.
It
because
is.
we
It's
don't
just like,
witness
I
any of
just
it.
get the jokes because people are joking about it. And it makes sense. Like I get what that person looks like in theory, although I don't really see them.
We understand the concept of that,
Yeah.
the meme of that, but not like from actual experience. And now I'm kind of getting it from actual experience. And
Okay.
that also, while I'm ranting on the subject of it, I do got to say, it is fun going to a commercial gym where there are other people there.
Yeah.
Because like Massenomics, it's great. Like I would pick Massenomics any day, but it's like the same 3 to 10 of us there every time.
Right.
So you're never caught off guard by anything, you know? There's
Yeah.
no surprises ever.
No.
Like that's not a thing. But here it's like every day is like, what the hell am I going to
Yeah,
see today?
right,
Like
right,
what is
right.
going to happen? Like it could be
Like,
anything.
what's the Easter
And
egg that I'm going to pick out of today's experience?
I think it's like a lot of things in life. I think the commercial gym is like the condensed down version of life where you really do see how people spend so much time on the wrong things and like worry so much about the wrong
Yeah.
things. And if that's
Major
not
in the
like also,
minors.
yes, if that doesn't just apply to life in general, I don't know what does,
Right.
but like the amount of time that I see guys, and I don't want to sound overly critical because they're in the gym. That's good.
Yeah.
But just the amount of time, and I think everyone probably recognizes this in themselves a little bit, like the amount of time you see guys that like probably weigh, I don't know, 140-ish pounds, and I'm not saying they're 5 feet tall at 140. They're like closer to 6 foot at one. Like they're very, very, just very skinny guys, like spending intense amounts of time on like isolation arm exercises with like 10 pounds. I'm like, that's not
like
what's going to get you
30-minute
stronger. Like,
workouts.
yes, like you don't need to like be holding, like do these like isometric bicep curls
Yeah.
where like each rep is like 30 seconds. Like that's not what's gonna do almost anything for you at all.
And you don't need to do like 3 different variations of bicep curls.
No, and then when you're done with bicep curls, you don't need to also go do like preacher bar curls and then also go do bicep curls on the cable machine
concentration
too.
curls and the
Like the problem, your arms aren't small because you're not hitting biceps enough. It's because you weigh 140 pounds.
Right.
They're never going to be big because you're too small. And just seeing stuff like that, it is really funny. And you want to be like, grab them, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But also that's part of the game is you just have to like suffer through being dumb about things.
Well, we even talked about just the say dumbbell and cable area in general at Massenomics gym. Usually when someone's in that area, what I said is that it's like they already have 1 foot out the door. They're almost done with their workout. They're doing their last few things. They're like, it literally goes closer to the exit door, and like they're literally
It
getting
does.
closer to leaving. You know,
it's the cable machine
Yeah.
and dumbbells are the closest you can get to the lockers in the door
Yes.
out of basically any equipment in the gym.
and that is the flow of it too. Maybe some people warm up a little bit in there, then they get to the other end of the gym and do their main stuff, and by the end of it, they're back over possibly to the dumbbell cable area, finishing the last couple things. Then they're gone. Like it's you just don't see people spending a majority of their time in there. Where I would
'Cause no
imagine
one's
you
like-
see
you know
people
what my secret-
never leave that
my-
spot.
Well, yeah, you don't know. I don't know anyone that's strong and they're like, yep, I got this way by spending intense amounts of time, just insane amounts of time on the cable machine. Like no
Right.
one's ever said that.
Right.
And when I think about the cable machine at this gym, it's always slammed. It's always like if the cable machine's not slammed in front of the dumbbells, there will be 8 benches and every bench will have someone on it just doing some dumb isolation exercise. Like it's comical that a cable machine can have, all right, the double pulleys in the middle. So one guy could be doing that. And then on each of the ends, there could technically be 3, one on the side and then 2 on the ends there. And so you could potentially have at any given point, like 7 people on a cable machine. And at every given point, there's usually 7 people on the cable machine. Like it's constantly busy. It just blows my mind that people like the cable machine that much.
Yeah. Well, it's easy.
And it is. That is the thing. It's easy. And I usually have like one exercise a day that needs it. And a lot of times it's hard to get that one exercise in. And I have 7 potential spots I could do it. And I usually can't because there's that many people on there. It's nuts.
Yeah. And we have the 2 at the gym. Can you ever recall like not being like, it's full?
No, never. Well, and also people at the gym aren't dumbasses. Like,
well, right.
I don't know where this comes from. It's probably just, I don't know. It's so stupid to me. Okay. If you're doing cable, let's just say you do lat pull down.
Yeah.
You go up to the thing, you put the pin in your weight, you do your reps,
you walk away from it.
But this is what people do in a commercial gym on anything. They get done. The second they're done, they just stay there on their phone. Like, this is my area now. And I'm like, why?
That doesn't
Why
happen at, I've never seen someone do that before.
But it's stupid behavior. I mean, it's dumb, but I get it. I guess if like
have
a
to
gym's
guard
really
it,
busy,
I
you
guess.
gotta guard your spot because the next dumbass is going to come and do the same thing. But
That is
it's
a
the same
foreign
thing.
concept.
It is like, why, when you're doing like cable rows, when you're done, you sit on that bench on your phone for like 5 minutes until you start your next set. And it's just because I guess you don't want the next guy to come and move the pin on you.
Right.
Like it doesn't make sense, but that's what people do.
But then if it happens I relate everything to Massenomics Gym because it's all I know at this point. But it's like, well, you get up and if the other person wants to use it, he'd be like, hey, do you care if I use this? And he'd be like, oh, that's fine. And then
I know that's what I don't
like. And then you would use it next when, it's just like,
yeah, like that's what, I went to go do lat pull downs the other day and there was a guy standing like right next to it and I couldn't tell if he was just hanging out there, if he was using it. And I go, hey man, are you using this? And he goes, yeah. And I go, because I hadn't seen him use it. I'm like, yeah, the lat pull down. Yeah, I'm almost done. I'm like, okay, I guess I won't move your pin on you. Like, sorry. It's so bizarre.
Oh, it's so funny because I've done it before, but it's just been so long. It just is.
And it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, but I am finding some entertainment in all this too. Like it is like I'm discovering a world that I forgot existed.
No, I think it's more interesting than it is even. It's not even like necessarily frustrating. It's like, that's really what it's like out there.
And Smith's people still squat on Smith's machines. It's still just still really surprises me on that one. Like I don't. It's weird. It's weird.
So, is there one Smith machine in your gym, or
there is one Smith machine? Okay. There's 4 racks. Actually, no. There's 6 racks and one Smith machine, and the Smith machine gets some mileage on it, which just really surprises me. I kind of thought those things had a bad enough rep. That people. I could see some people doing like some type of arm exercises
there's some
on
uses.
Them, or something like that.
There was a used one that came up for sale not that long ago, and like if we had unlimited room, like at the price, I would have bought it because I'd be like, but it's just a matter of, is this more valuable than the next piece I could put in the same footprint? And it's like, no, not in our case, but
and that's I don't think Smith's machines are a total waste and just the dumbest device in the world, but at the same time, like I don't know if you're a teenage boy and you have 20 pounds on the Smith machine, you're doing squats. I don't know if that's the best use of your workout is to be doing squats on the Smith machine at 85 pounds. Like, I just don't think that makes any sense.
No. So Birkenstocks are overrated.
Yeah. So I guess to bring that full circle, yes, Birkenstocks are overrated.
Okay. Overrated or underrated Crocs?
I've always thought Crocs were overrated.
I've never owned a pair.
But at the same time, I've never owned a pair either. And they've been around so long and they've gone in and out of fashion so many times that it's almost like they've transcended all of that now and they just are what they are, which that almost makes me want to give them a pass and be like, nah, like the rules don't apply to Crocs. But I don't know. I still think they're a little overrated.
Okay.
I would have used to said like they were super overrated. I'm bringing that down to a little overrated.
I've never even put my foot inside of a Croc before.
I haven't either.
Okay.
I haven't either. They're probably super comfortable and awesome, but I'm saying they're overrated.
Okay. Overrated or underrated?
And actually, on that subject, I did see a kid hang cleaning with Crocs on the other day.
I'm not mad. I'm actually impressed.
Well, he missed it,
Oh.
and I'm going to think it was
Probably
probably
because
because
of
of
the
the Crocs.
Crocs,
Yeah.
So there's people doing
But-
hang cleans in there.
There was a guy doing hang cleans, yeah.
Have you seen anyone squat over 400 pounds?
No, the very first day I was there, the heaviest squat, I saw the heaviest squat I've ever seen, and a guy was squatting 365 for some doubles.
Okay. Have you seen
and he had
anyone
a powerlifting
bench
belt. Like he definitely,
315?
I'm not sure I've seen anyone bench over 225 yet, besides me. And I did see a kid pull 5 plates for a double. And I mean, it was an RP 15. It was insane that he got it. And I was happy for him.
Was it
he
sumo or conventional?
It was conventional. And he kept his form pretty
Did you
clean.
say anything to him?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
He was with his buddies and they were living it. You could tell he was super jacked. I was excited for him. I was just shocked that he got it for a double. I was like, hey, you do you, man. That's awesome. You kept it pretty clean. But that would be the actual single biggest lift I've seen in that gym so far.
All right. Overrated or underrated? Yeezys.
They're overrated. They are. And now people are, I think it's really funny now. So, obviously Kanye has gone totally off the deep end saying he loves Hitler and all this stuff. And, all these brands are dropping him. And Adidas has now said, that they're going to release Yeezys just without him. And it's really, really funny. A lot of people seem to think that, they were Yeezys by Adidas.
Right.
Like that's what the box and everything said. It's
Right.
Yeezys by Adidas. And I'm pretty sure some like patents and all this stuff came out a while ago, like listing the designers on the shoes. And, he doesn't own any of the patents or have anything to do with any of the shoes.
Right.
I haven't looked much into this, but I'm pretty sure that it was just like, hey, we have these designs. We just only need you to stamp your name on these just to sell them. Like,
Right. He was.
a lot of people seem to think he was deeply,
Yeah.
a lot of people seem to think he was deeply, deeply involved in the design process and all this. I don't think that was the case, which is really interesting because now a lot of people are like, oh yeah, these shoes are going to just tank now that he's not involved. And it's like, man, that is actually kind of messed up that the only reason that people think they had any merit was purely because of his name.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they are overrated. I did like a lot of the silhouettes. Like that is the thing in the shoe space. There's not a lot of companies that make new silhouettes. It's just new colorways. That's all companies do.
Right.
And even then, they can come out with a new colorway and it can totally tank because people don't like those colors. And then they can change 2 colors on it, and a shoe that would not sell is now worth thousands of dollars. Not because it's any more rare or better materials. It's purely because of the colors, which is the insane part about shoes. But Yeezys are overrated, especially when you look at the resale on them. Like the resale going on tons of them for 400, 500,000, into the thousands. Like that's too much. That like those shoes are not that cool. And this is from a guy that owns a pair of Yeezys too.
Right.
I would have bought more, but they were kind of always a little hard to get. And then the resale was stupid. So yeah, I'm saying overrated.
Okay. Last one. And this one is worth all the marbles. Have you noticed what the theme is, or?
It seems to be footwear
It's
related.
footwear. Do you have any guess what the last one is? You're not gonna guess it.
Okay.
So overrated or underrated? Hey dudes.
They're so overrated. They're overrated.
And that
I'm
being
sure
said,
they're
I've never had a
comfortable.
pair of any of the 4 pieces of footwear on this.
Yeah, there's a lot of memes going around, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they're comfortable. I do not knock it. You don't got to tie them. They're the easiest, most convenient thing. They fall in line with like
A Croc,
Crocs,
yeah.
and Birkenstocks basically. But there's all the memes of the, like the Midwest guy look, because those shoes are at every freaking store in the Midwest. You can buy them at like
Buy them
anywhere
in
that
bulk.
sells
Be like,
anything.
I'll have 7 pairs
Yeah.
of Hey dudes, please.
Yeah, to me that just looks. If you're wearing those, it kind of looks like you gave up on caring about style in any way. And not even just like caring about style, but like even just like, all right, I got to just put the bare minimum effort into leaving the house. And like I said, I'm sure they're comfortable, but you will not catch me wearing a pair of those. There's other brands. There's other brands that make footwear I actually owned a pair of Vans back in the day that looked very, very similar to that.
Yeah.
Almost, I would say, even the same. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's just taken middle America by storm.
Right.
And when something takes middle America by storm,
Watch out.
It's not very fashion. God, yeah, watch out. Yeah. So I'm going overrated on that.
So I think
I didn't know if maybe you were going to catch me on like maybe New Balance on the last one. I was thinking maybe you were going to throw me a
that would
curveball
be
there.
more interesting. Maybe this one's more like that would be a more interesting take probably because you overrated all 4 of these.
Did I overrate all
Yeah,
of them?
yeah.
And maybe I just hate everything footwear wise. That's
Well-
why. Actually, I'm at the point. I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm like, all right, like, yeah, there's a lot of Nikes that are cool, but at the same time, everyone wears Nikes. And then,
Yep.
there's a lot of Adidas that are cool, but a lot of people wear Adidas, and that's like the only freaking shoe I've bought for the last 4 years, Adidas. And I'm riding the New Balance train right now, and I mean, it's definitely like a look like you can definitely look like an old dad wearing them, but that's kind of getting to be what's back in style. And their materials are a little more premium than most companies.
I think they've always been a functionally and like durability wise a very sound shoe, right? Like even if the style was poor.
Yeah, and like you can get ones that are actually made in America.
Right.
Made in America is loose. Like that, I think for them to consider made in America, it has to be like 70% between.
Let's be honest, they're still going to use a little bit of sweatshops. In order to make a shoe
exactly. Yes, yeah, just not like 100% sweatshop like Adidas and Nike.
See, I've been thinking about buying a pair of Reebok shoes for years. I might just do it someday. I might just pull the trigger and buy a pair.
Just might pull that trigger. Yeah, I keep going to New Balance over and over. And
I probably would have bought a pair of Reeboks by now, except for you. You got me that pair of shoes once. However, whether that was a year or two.
I got you the Ultra Boost.
So I'm good for like
ago.
5 more years now. So
exactly. Yeah, you're set away. Yeah, it just for me, New Balance seems to be the one that has exciting stuff going on, and maybe I think they still are overrated after you get like so. If you look at what's going on with shoes, it's just so much Nike, Jordan, Adidas. Like something different is needed, and New Balance is kind of killing it in that space right now with premium materials, fun colors, and also they got some pretty wild silhouettes out there. So I think they got some exciting stuff going on.
But not Hey Dudes.
But not Hey Dudes, no. Nope, you won't find me there.
Good news. It looks like you passed overrated, underrated. So congrats to that.
There we go.
That I think that passing grade deserves yourself a little. You earned yourself a little something over there.
Oh.
Cool beans. Cool.
I almost forgot to serve those up.
Yeah. Thank goodness you did, though. Oh, I think we should bring this one closer to a landing now at this point. We've been hitting it hard in Studio 6.9 today. I think as you're listening to this, important to note, when this comes out, I think we're about 20 weeks out from the Massenomics Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic. So
20 is all?
28. 28 weeks out from...
Oh, 28?
Yeah.
Well, geez. Close your eyes and open them. It'll be here.
Hashtag meet prep is in full swing. Don't worry about anything else from this point forward. Just
I think there's going to be a fair number of Juggernaut programs that all have the same meet day in it, isn't there?
Yep. July 22nd is going to break the Juggernaut app if it ever could be done.
The database says, no, there's too many meets on the same day.
Not this many people are supposed to peak at once. That's too much.
It's too much for our AI systems.
This is peak. So 28 weeks out, hashtag meet prep. Make sure to check out our store at Massenomics.com. We've got a whole bunch of stuff for sale. We just this week restocked the classic lift shorts, the granddaddy of all, the one that started it all, the Champion Mesh black shorts. For those of you
underrated,
yeah, very underrated. For those of you that are not good with just the plain ones, you buy the lift ones. Just as unaffordable as ever, back and more expensive than ever. The Massenomics lift shorts. What else did we restock? Oh. Lift banner restock. I can just literally look around the room now and tell you what we do have and what we don't have.
Just fire them off.
We've got a good selection of dad hats right now. We've got dad hats in 4 colors. I was just talking about it with your brother and some other people at the gym today, what our favorite colors of the dad hats were. Flying Ryan just went with the rose recently, which is maybe an underrated colorway on the dad hat. I like the oak, which the oak is the tan color. I think the oak is the most underrated dad hat color that we have.
It's probably the most underrated color. It's also the most understated color,
That's true. I like it so much I keep thinking about taking one of those, but I haven't yet either.
Do it.
I'm thinking about it. One of these days I might get that and that pair of Reebok shoes. A lot of our tees we've got good stock of right now, so get a tee. We still have pennant flags for sale. I've got one of those behind me on the wall. And then our hats, don't buy those. There's a whole rack.
That room was really hearkening when you
Did you
turned the
notice
camera
that?
on.
I thought something felt harkened in here.
I can see it, and it's really putting out a vibe.
That does kind of like harken back to like what is it, that guy in like a college dorm room there? Like it really harkens to something
there's
like that.
There's clothes everywhere. There's a flag on the wall. This guy's definitely in college.
He looks 35.
Yeah, freaking Asher Roth. I love college over here.
Getting wasted.
I love women. Hey, I love college.
Now that song really harkens back, doesn't it?
That really harkens to about 2010.
Yeah. It really harkens, just like our pennant flags. Buy all that stuff. Lift hoodie is restocked, so we do still have the lift hoodie, I think, in all sizes, small through up to big boy 4X, but 3X and 4X usually sell out kind of quick, so hop on those if you're one of the big boys. And then just order anything from us. If you don't want to do that, please consider signing up to become a supporting member. We'd love to have you in the crew. It's fun. It is fun. We joke about it all the time, but it is a fun group, and I don't think you won't be disappointed if you spend the couple bucks a month to get joined to that. And then also just let someone know about the podcast. Tell a friend. Tell them it's the best powerlifting podcast about nothing that you've ever heard. Get them to tune in, and then leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts when you're at it.
Got to bump those numbers up.
Those are rookie numbers. 458, those are rookie numbers. We need 500. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can find me in the Massenomics Fulfillment Center or at Tanner_Baird on Instagram. And just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.